Okay, hi everyone. I hope you're doing fine during these really strange times everywhere. We're very happy to have this session with our great friend Martín Gubbins. He has been part of the initial idea, like the first committee of this series, Language is a Virus. And of course, we wanted very much with Martín Vaquero to have him in presenting his work. And after lots of petitions, he finally acceded to do so. And it's very good because he wanted, every one of you who know Martín know that he wants to prepare very well what he wants to show. He's very organized and although he works a lot with improvisation, he also wants to prepare very well the materials which he will work. So for those of you that don't know Martin, I can tell you about him that he's a lawyer, and I don't have nothing much to say now. Besides of being a lawyer, he's a poet and an artist and a sound poet, and he's been working in this field, especially what we consider experimental poetry, but also with music and visual arts since the 2000s, especially when he arrived to London in 2001 or 2000, I don't remember, but around 2001. And then and he started to participate in the Writers Forum with Bob Cobbing and also another friend of ours, Andres Ambanter, and of course Martín Vaquero was also joining. And I know that some of you also met in those years around the Writers Forum. And then when Martín came back to Chile, he decided to replicate this project, and he invited lots of us to make like a Chilean version of the Writers Forum, which was called Foro de Escritores. And it was very important for all of us to be part of a group that could share works that were being developed, not only published books or finished poems, but also ideas, projects that we had in mind, and that were related with poetry in a very broad view. We were considering performance. I remember, for example, the first performance I saw of Montenegro and Fischer when they came to the Foro de Escritores in Chile. We wanted to share what we were reading at the time or what we were hearing, to share our common interests around all different kinds of experimentations. And this group was formed in a very similar way, like this group we have right now. Was formed by poets, writers, musicians, visual artists, and even people that weren't producing some artistic work, but they were interested in what we were doing. I want to put the accent in that work of Martín because it's very related to what he has made later on. He has participated as an editor of the Foro de Escritores book, but also he's been in touch with lots of people in different parts of Latin America, especially Mexico, and also in Europe, in England and France, and Spain, in the United States, etc. And I think that he sees his work very in relation to what's being done in different parts of the world. And also this versatility is shown in the different parts of his work. He has published books, he has recorded sound poetry records, lots of those books and records has been in collaboration with other poets and artists. And especially in the last 2 or 3 years, he has been working a lot as a visual artist in Chilean galleries, working together with Chilean galleries such as Isabel Rosas' contemporary art in Valparaíso, also in Santiago. So I think that his work has been in a uh, very broad expansion in this year. And sincerely, I don't know where it will stop, but I'm sure that it will be in a very continuous development. And just before that we start with this, I wanted to say hello, especially to some friends that are joining for the first time in this series, especially to Elvira. Hi, Elvira. We're very happy to have you here.
Elvira.
Hi,
Elvira
hello.
will save us.
Hola, hola, ¿qué tal?
Live
Hola,
from the
Elvira.
Hola.
hospital.
Yeah. She's in charge of healing all these crazy poets. Well, so welcome everyone, and please, Martin, we will hear you and see you what you want to show us.
Ignition.
Okay. Do you see this? Do you see it?
Yes, we see it.
Okay. Well, thank you, Martin and Felipe. These months have been very difficult. Um, a lot of thinking has been necessary, I think, at least on my part. And so I didn't want to do things for a while. And that is why as Felipe said, he had to tell me a couple of times to come over here. Thank you very much for insisting and for you being here. I wanted to take the opportunity of being surrounded mainly by highly qualified practitioners in different areas or ways of confronting language, sound, image, performance. That's a very good opportunity. I appreciate it very much. And so what to do in front of such an audience, how to pick up some things or not, or just improvise or what. So I prepared, I wanted to trace a line. I took really the opportunity to do something to try to understand what I've been doing lately and trying to connect it with what I've been doing for many years. And so in that way, speak about a bit about me. This is a bit me presentation. But anyway, the point I want to make is not about me, but it is about the subject and the person behind this sort of path of experimentation in art and poetry. Um, uh, how to take it as a way of making sense of yourself. That's more or less the point, not just me. So the thing is, a constant debate between the left and the right side of the brain, and it it the start point wasn't very encouraging in a Jesuit school where one sort of way of education is only one. So I ended up being a lawyer for many years, and I felt very strong, really. I have to confess that. However, feeling I was becoming a bit of a something without much to say, and I got really confused. I didn't know what to do, and so I decided to consult my most valued friends. Some of them are here, and they told me, Martin, take the helm and just fly. And I went to travel a lot, all the places in South America. And I took the wine of the poets and I started to see words around my head as if they were stars moving. And then the most important step, going out of borders or going abroad. And then the importance of this man is critical. This is Mr. Andres Anvanter. All of you know him. He was absolutely crucial. He invited me to attend the Writers' Forum in London. And I went to those sessions and understood a couple of things, or at least copied a couple of things from what I saw then. And the first thing was form, to work with form. Writing poetry before that was not about form. And I kept, for some reason, composing poems about the urban landscape and the natural landscape. These are the roundabouts in England, with that constant movement. Ceaselessness, ceaselessness, nestless, ceaseless, nest, stopless, nestless, lesslessness, stopless, nestless, stopless, nestless, nest, stopless, nestless, 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 These are also architecture. All these works from that period, in some way or another, are about the landscape. Another thing that I learned with the Writers' Forum was that poetry was a live thing, a performative art. And so everything from the very beginning in those years, I read it and I projected it and showed it and read it. And that has been something I've never stopped doing, even when the piece or the poem is not offering too many um, keys to be read, like those abstractions. However, the performative aspect grew a lot, and I also started to work with dance and making poems for dancing in some way. And then another step was the going out of the page, when the poems that were originally composed to be published in a book, like for example this one, that is performed also always in some way or another, but now becomes an installation. That's another step, and this one is out of the page. Same thing with, for example, this book called Cuaderno de Composición, which is completely composed of lines, horizontal lines, like in any composition book. Also performed in some way or another. This is more or less the book. and the book ends with that this notebook was printed and opened. The book looked like this, and then another transference occurred, and now the book, as one thing, became a mural. We projected it in a corner in a room in the museum, and represented the lines with black threads, black threads for bookbinding. So with those, we composed exactly the pages of the book, but extended in the room, creating that perspective effect, as if now the book, as one thing, becomes open in the room. And this accompanied by 3 Okidata printers printing the book. So the book was printed repeatedly in some occasions. And those occasions were performances by different artists, musicians, poets, performers. Ghazal is there. Hello, Ghazal. Felipe, Federico is here also. Many people, around 30 people, came to play in this room, and the invitation was to perform together with the printers as a duet, and it was fantastic. So the poem became a container for many things happening inside, within the limits of the poem, but also surrounded by other peoples of the community. It was a public event. Other works, this, for example, is the contrary. This is just letters spread on the page, repeated in different patrons, also performed always, and becoming sort of visual art, more conventional, to be hanged on a wall. And these are sort of curtains also made with this work. And then the installation and the live performance get together, and I start doing these crazy things, like putting inside this tent all my family, the men in my family, my father and my brother and his son, to read some things with 4 microphones, and process it outside with 4 speakers surrounding this thing. Things like that, trying to literally use space with sound and with the object, the poem as an object. Here, these shadows of these men reading, or the other types of experiments together with for example, these are architecture students. So with the poem sounds inside these things. So the question I wanted to answer today was, what is that only thing I've done, in terms that is really the only thing I could see as a pattern that has been there always, as a force, as a drive. There are so many things, different things. So what is in common? That was what I wanted to find out today. And I concluded something that is probably all of us have thought or liked to think, and that is that what we do is exploration. And take that term um, that comes probably from geographical exploration, Shackleton and that kind of exploration. And I discovered one sense of this word that I really found interesting to share, because it makes a lot of sense to what motivations have been behind all this schizophrenic spread of different types of things. And that is exploration as a search for happiness. There is one meaning in the word that comes from Latin that means that explorar, to explore, is to weep or cry out, to put your pain out. And I love that concept, and I think it makes a lot of sense to me. This is not exploration as just a laboratory thing, a cold exercise in a laboratory. This is a search for some sort of happiness, some sort of balance. Balance, I would say, between the being and the doing. This concept of exploration, a search for happiness or balance, is not mine. It's from a real explorer. This guy is called Cristian Donoso. He's Chilean. We've been working together in some projects, not like these ones shown in the photos. These are his own activities as geographical or Antarctic explorer, and so I owe that interpretation to him, a real one, a real explorer. They're still explorers. So by means of a number of different incursions into language, sound, and performance, I've tried to leave behind a particular form of pain, which is that this balance between being and doing. And the last stage in this search for happiness or for balance is going overland. I started to ride in roads in West Patagonia in Chile and Argentina. And I got literally immersed in forces I had never felt, really. And I committed myself to discover why that road, those roads in particular, had such an effect on me, and to check whether or not that power I felt was natural or human. So I went there again and brought with me samples of gravel from those roads. I took them to laboratories to weigh them, to classify them, trying to find where that force that I felt was hiding. I went back with paper and pencils, and I did an enormous amount of work scrubbing on different surfaces, the gravel, the barriers, posts, bridges, signs. And I went to find out about the history of these roads. And I discovered that these roads were built with enormous pain and that a lot of men suffered doing it. And we didn't know that history. So I used some elements from that past memory to create different symbolic expressions of that past. Like those, for example, two pieces there made with the materials of those raincoats. That was the only safety equipment they had working on those extreme places. And those samples of gravel were also exhibited together with other works with which I intended to give my own opinion about that period in our recent history. And then happened the incredible. The poem went out of itself, but by its own means, not as a consequence of my actions. And history took over. And a couple of those pieces I exhibited in that show about the roads of West Patagonia were transformed by the people in emblems, symbols of resistance, of pain, of anger too, during the current revolution in course in Chile. And today, I want to show you one of those many different types of evidence I collected during this investigation, this research about these West Patagonian roads. And those are language traces, language evidences. One of the works I produced for that exhibition was a book, that book. This book here. It is like a dossier, you know, with these metallic things you can take out and open it. And you will find different cuadernillos. And one of those contains the poem of the Austral Road. And from that poem, which was written with texts found in different sources, I will read for you some fragments, if you want, and this video will be showing you the book. And I will be reading the poem or something like that. But you will be able to see the book. Austral roads. They travel, look, go through scenic routes, clouds, mountains, stars, glaciers, cascades, estuaries, waves, oceans, forests, streams, and forget. History, mass, momentum, inertia, gyroscope, gravity, weight, directing, fighting, controlling, vibrations, late actions, forward, far behind. I say no, distance, time, no, kilometers. I say no, to say hours, nothing, 300 kilometers, 7 hours, no, 100 kilometers. You know, better to say time. Roots, mud, gravel, pavement, mud, pavement, snow, gravel, pavement, mud, ice, mud, gravel, ice, pavement, ice, stopping, waiting, mud, gravel, pavement, track, cars, gravel, track, cars, mud, track, cars, snow, gravel, mud, gravel, pavement, wind, black, frost, danger, snow, rain, hail. To stop, to stop, to stop, to go slowly. Time not favorable, cloudy dominates, rainy days, raining nights, day, rain, wind, clouds, cold blows, wind, it rains, new day, showers, sky, clouds, barometer, drops, cloudy, wind, north, showers, rain, cold, wind, eases, time, undecisive, summits, clouds, afternoon, moment, people, fatalist, augur, northwest. 8 a.m. Calm, barometer, drops, wind, strength, showers, haze, snows, rain, night, barometer, descent, cold, showers, gale, it rains, north, raining, showers, wind, showers, night, night, cold, night. Past, present, mesh, sieves, restricted area, dirty area, clean area, protect your hands, protect your eyes, protect your feet, prohibited to cast aside material, drawers, store graduation, thick, stones, visible, naked, eye, particle, grit, sands, clays, slime, stones, organic sand, clay, slime, peat, grit, sand, grit, protests, stones, thick, grit, thick, sand, too fine, stones, grit, clay, slime, peat, keep clean, protect your eyes, protect your hands, protect your feet, percentage that passes. Procedures, supervision, hydric erosion, compaction, unemployment. Geometrical features, conditions, foundation, support, embankments, platforms, reliefs, rain, rivers flow, vegetation, rainfall, swamps, fields, ice, regime. Punctuals, instability, wedge type landslides, carrying capacity, drainage presence, expansive grounds, hydric erosion, organic matter parameters, butters, scarce, safe elements, banks, shoulders, surveys, shallow, superficial, water table, levels, IDB, rocks, restrictions, altered ravines, geopolitical science. Kilometers, earth, kilometers, steep, rock. Earth, steep, round, rock, rock, 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 earth, rock, rock, earth, steep, round, rock, rock, earth, round, rock, earth, round earth. Native trees. 20 kilometers south work front abrupt slopes, hill bulldozers, chainsaws, charges 1 month, one flood, one disappeared. Conditions, owners, hirings, contractors, performance, you took it, you left it. Here there were no more jobs. Mud, layer over layer, cold plastics, nylon, cold mud, sleeping clothing, blankets, cots, branches, bonfires, greenhouses. Do it yourself. Sometimes the river, dynamite, fish, food, men at times. There is no history. Do not know how many there be in total. There is no way of knowing how many. Slowly, solely, to know what had happened, sight, what little is left be known. There is no register, only know the old ones still alive. You learn a lot working on roads anyway. They had other systems. They were not controlled. They did everything their way. Mandatory service we had entered to comply. Homeland, however, mistreated imbeciles. You barely knew corporal, second lieutenant, lieutenants. Others had nothing military. 2 years in exchange, rifle, pancakes, shovel instead of helmet, yellow helmets, workers, confusion, conditions, conscience, without learning what we did. Why were we here, surrounded, summits, sea, mountain, bushes, forests, alone, the old riddle, life, death, pain, adversity. A L Q B A O F F A P J A A S U C C H O S E N P M E R G F E W M F F J Z O J V A H A J R H H C V H H R F H H T.
Connected to CHIL 9N.
That's it. Thank you for the patience. Thank you.
Buena, Martín.
Wow. Thank you.
Gracias, gracias.
Rob.
Great, thank you.
There's the luz.
Bob.
Finally understood what we're doing. It took me 20 years.
Years. It's
Wow.
nothing, Felipe.
Well, I did a long presentation of Martin's work at the beginning. So please, every one of you who want to make comments or questions about this really complete presentation.
Martina, I'm really happy and proud of that connection that you realize now between your life and all of your experience and your feelings and your soul and your spirit and your flesh and with your action. That for me is really like connected now. And thank you for that big work that you make and you're full of power and love. I'm really I feel a lot of wonderful love with your work and wonderful direction and perseverance and I don't know I don't know how you feel now about all of the work that you are living, but do you feel that they're more connected? What I feel you like more present in same as you are keeping in confined. I don't know how to explain it, but you know how I love you, Martin, and for me it's always a pleasure to work with you and to talk with you and to ask some counsels when we need. You are really complete person, Martin. Bravo, bravo, querido mío.
So thank you, Martin Vaquero.
No, and but how do you feel that connection now? Do you feel different in a way?
Well, you know what? The thing is that I think that I've always felt that connection in some way. I mean, I've been so intense, if you want, in my search that it's always been a sort of physical thing. But the difference is that now I really feel it as a pleasure. Because I feel it, I receive it probably in more peace myself. And so it is virtual feedback, the being and the doing now.
Right, we are back.
Yeah, I feel you like really completely connected with the different experience. For me, it's new and it's a really like a kind of anthology of your work that will keep it forever, I think. And you, all of the people, some of are here in this group that we are meeting together in the Writers Forum, and that was one of the first international connection in that sound poetry. I don't know what other else want to ask to Martin to say something.
Yes,
You're free.
Yeah.
Right, so.
Yeah, it was really fantastic. I really enjoyed that so much, and yeah, especially that sense of time and development, and you know, and also that movement between the writers' forum in London, and you know, then your own subsequent development. It was really fascinating, and I loved what you were saying about exploration, because so often that's a word that has the way that I hear it, there's often a kind of colonial privilege associated with it, that if you're in a position where you can explore you have the liberty of travel, and the way that you're talking about spaces is really engaging with the difficulty of traveling, and yeah, the sort of, yeah, the resistance of places. So I really liked what you were saying about the road and, you know, the struggle of people working on them. And it was making me think about the ways that your work also travels, but in a way that is drawing attention to those material aspects all the time. And I suppose that, yeah, my question was really, yeah, just, yeah, I suppose quite a general one about this travel in your work between the UK and Chile, and whether you could, yeah, say something about, yeah, what kinds of translation have happened in that space, or, you know, what do you think about that sort of geographical space in your work between the UK and Chile?
It is very interesting because it is in a great part a Chilean place. It is a very Chilean place. We shared all that experience with others, with an Vanter who is here and who invited me in the first place, for example. Luna and Adrian also were also there always, almost always. So it was a very Chilean experience. So that created some sort of thing, and the well, regarding work and my project, it is essential because I truly discovered the possibilities of taking language as a material there. Very late in my life, I knew that poetry could be that, and I really opened my brain or connected with my things, connections that my brain had ready for connection for some reason. That poem about the mountains and the sea is my very first visual poem. I
Oh,
did it in, I don't know, 1 hour, something like that. It was an explosion, an immediate connection with that sort of sensitivity, and so it is essential because all things about visual, about sound performance, about the use of the body, about freedom from from means in terms of do it with whatever means you have. That freedom um, are essential in everything that came afterwards. Really, so the bridge is very very important. Yeah, and I made a lot of good friends, excellent friends. The human connection is very important for me, has been always. That's why probably the Writers Forum made so much impact on me. And then I worked on the Foro de Escritores in Chile version 2 because of probably needing that human connection. So that is also important. Very important thing.
great. Thank you. Yeah, thanks.
Hey, Martin, I really loved it. And also echoing what Zoe said, I love the way you moved in and out of different forms of art, and also on the other side, and mixed with that process, forms of reality, facts, people's lives, settings, right? And I found that really made your art almost like kind of comprehensive in some really interesting way. And the exploration thing, I agree with that completely. And almost like there's another side to that, because it's exploration, but it's also you're going between exploration and invention. And those two things are always like counterpoints for me. You know, we explore also from because of who we are, like, or the way we explore because of who we are. And and you were going in and out of that too, that process of from the inside to the outside. And so these being and doing, again, I completely agree with that. And I would take it down another level almost, which is that what combines those two things, it's shaping. The way we're shaped, which affects our shaping within our apprehension of things, and then the way we shape. So anyway, those were my thoughts, and I don't know what else to say. I like your comments on it, though.
No, it is very interesting what you're saying, because I have, some reason, I will find out now, a quote written in my notes. I don't know whom it is, and I think it is perfect. I'm sure Felipe and some of you will know the author. Please help me. But it says, creativity is never the creation of something from nothing. Instead, consciously or not, people refashion things. They do this for the most part in three ways: by bending, breaking, and blending. Bending involves taking something and altering a property. Breaking involves taking a whole apart and assembling something new from the fragments. And blending involves mixing multiple sources together in new ways. Bending, breaking, blending. Doblar, quebrar, mezclar. I don't know why I had it there.
That's
It
right.
sound like Porphyrius.
It's great.
It's like Porphyrius, the Porphyrius text about the Aeneid of Plotinus. Maybe it's that.
Okay, there you have. That's interesting. Yeah, I agree with that. And anyway, it's always been my case. I've never invented anything really, apart from taking elements, putting them together in different ways. Deforming has been something I've been doing a lot. Deforming things. Yeah. Yes. Thank you, Anne.
That beautiful rehearsal of joy that you're presenting today. The kind of the poetry for you is a really rehearsal and research of joy and collective joy.
Sí. 100%.
That is a wonderful arm in those strange moments in the world, you know, that a lot of paranoia everywhere. That kind of joy that poetry brings to life, human beings, is really important.
I wasn't sure about that. For many weeks, I was doubting that. I was really confused and feeling dark because of the uselessness of poetry and art in times like this. But no, it's not useless. It is very useful in a different way, and in giving us this different space time, as you call it, of sharing, right, with a different frequency and touching other aspects of human beingness. So it is very important to keep on and to do things, even though they are repeated things, old things. It is important. For me, has been important. So yes, joy.
Yeah.
Good.
Thank you. And that joyful, I think, that's the collectivity works that that's this meeting every Wednesday, or the Writers Forum, the Foro de Escritores, when we are friends at the base. We are really like close friends, and we are making things together. And I remember with Martin, when we make Basta Yaga, I was inventing every word and just collecting every semantic experience that we have in our spirit, really like mix it with another word, and we make titles like Esperparratratrujada or something like that. I don't remember. But how about your collective works, Martin? How do you feel that working with others and like
No,
with me and with all of you?
yeah, with many people, if, essential and
Mm.
constant. It's been constant practice, working with others in collaboration, inviting or being invited. I always try to find things, new approaches. I love it. I learn a lot, and that this idea you see of the poem or something that you spread or or I don't know, make sound anywhere, and so not just a book, obviously. So when you work with other people, you are able to create atmospheres and generate ways of communication that are much more multi-level and more complex in a scene in the context of a stage or something like that. So yes, I love that. Very important. Now the joy is not to say that I consider a lot of my work very, very serious about society, and it is not joy, light joy. I don't know. It is not fun for fun or whatever. That is important to be said because it is not the case.
Martin, first of all, thanks so much. It was fantastic, really great. I wanted to ask you to tell us a little bit more about the collaboration, or I don't know what exactly you did with Christian Donoso. The uh, what was the nature of the work that you did with him?
No, we are working now in a project of a book of interviews, um, a conversation between us regarding exploration from his point of view as a geographical explorer and my point of view as an artist, and we've been thinking about that sort of common ground in this conversation that is in course. It's not yet finished, but has been very interesting for many different reasons.
Is this going to be? Is it poetry? Is it going to be a performance? A
No, it
novel?
will probably be a book of conversations with photos, a lot of photos. Yeah, yeah. It will be more or less about what means to be an explorer, a geographical explorer in the present times. It is interesting. I thought
Does
they
it have
were
to do with
extincted.
that? Hmm.
I thought they were extinct, but they are not.
They still exist, yes.
Yeah, yeah. They explore other things. You see, they explore history, for example, and that's a connection with what I did with the Austral roads. They explore history. They go to the places and see what has happened, and raise visibility of some issues in some lands and territories that are not visible for us. So the motivation is different. It's not that economical discovering motivation, although there are still many places not yet explored by the humans. A lot of places I've learned now. But as I say, motivations are different now, and they are related to happiness in a different way as the old exploration motivations, which were economical, to bring prosperity, if you want, that sort of happiness, Now motivation is another sort of happiness. It's this balance between humans and the earth. It has a more ecological component, I would
That's
say.
exactly what Zoe was saying. This is not a colonial approach. This is
Yeah,
an advocacy. Yeah.
yeah. So there is the geographical exploration as a metaphor for me is great enough to try to grasp from this guy who has fantastic stories, incredible stories to tell as much as possible because it's very interesting, really. It's like a bit out of fashion, but I've been learning why it is so important now. And we are exploring Mars already in the old way. So looking for a place to live, and yeah.
Thanks again.
There was something that I wanted to add because we were talking about this Writers Forum and Foro de Escritores relationship. I've never been in the Writers Forum, unfortunately. I have only the Chilean Sucedanius version with more fat and with more sugar. But something that I wanted to say, considering that lots of us in this group are also academics or scholars that are researching about all these things, is that, and I of course think that this happened also in the Writers Forum, this is a very great place to study also. I mean, it's not like at least when we started doing these sessions in Chile and also in places like this today, it's not a place where you work like a workshop and that you present your work to be evaluated by others. It's more like looking for relationships, commenting technical details or influences and all that. And it's a way of teaching and learning all together that I think is really important. And usually it's not what we do in the academy. I mean, we have to evaluate everything. We are being evaluated constantly. And also the space of the academic writing when, I don't know, everything that you say has to be supported by a quote or bibliography, and you don't have this space to make mistakes or, I don't know, essay or try or explore some interpretations of a work without the fear of being mistaken. I mean, usually we can say very silly stuff and it doesn't happen anything. So I like very much this kind of work, this kind of relationship. And the other thing that is really worth mentioning is that I don't know how has been the case of people in England or the States, but at least in my case, I don't know, 90% of what I know about visual poetry or about sound poetry, I learned in the meetings with guys like you in meetings like this. I mean, at the university, I learned very, very little about this stuff. So it's also a place that allows the interest in this kind of works that often are very difficult to find in the academy. So, well, with both Martins, we usually like to talk about like a university or a school of Writers Forum or a Writers Forum for kids. I remember like a kindergarten, things like that. But I mean, it's happening always when we meet, and I remember lots of times going out of Martín Gubbins' house with lots of books under my arm and things like that, or every time sharing different bibliography, sharing references. We're talking with Zoe last week about that every time when someone starts learning about experimental poetry, it's very difficult to know where to start. It's not as, I don't know, if you want to learn about Shakespeare, you can find a lot of bibliography and some classic books that you have to study before others, or some lines of work. In this case, in experimental poetry, usually you find something here and something there, and it takes a lot of time and like to build your own canon or your set of relationships. So at least in my case, and I'm sure for everyone it has been the same, the opportunity to be hanging out with the people in this way of talking and learning has been great.
Yes, and sometimes that is, Eduardo Escofet call it the extended cachondeo. You know, that is go beyond the structure of every standard meeting, but of course, it's at the same time is a rehearsal of something new. You know, the kind of all of poets performing together in different part of the world at the same space time. That is completely new. And yeah, maybe we can propose for the escritores for the next astronauts or robots. I don't know if anyone want to join some question, or we start to. We continue the what is the grill that Martin Gubbins proposed today?
I want to know what Andreas has to say.
Andres.
He's lurking there in the background.
I'm sorry, I joined the meeting later, so I missed Martin's presentation.
You didn't miss anything, don't worry.
No, I will have a look at the recording afterwards. But yeah, and I could just repeat what's been talked here. I mean, things that strike me from Martin's work, the travelings between one place and another, the idea of capturing space. And from the last time I took part in one of Martin's performances 5 years ago at the Gallo Negro, where we did this sonnet, which doubles as a sort of dance rehearsal or actual dance. And I was thinking that my main impression of that work was, as Martin said, joy. It was such a joyful experience to take part in the making of the poem with your body and following these rules and getting into the groove, and yeah, it's a good way as any to understand what a sonnet does or can still do in these times. But yeah, and also, well, collaboration is also. I've been thinking of arts and linguistic arts as a form of responding to something. In a way, that's what gives work urgency, and in collaborations, the rich thing that happens is that you are responding to the other who is collaborating with you, and in that sense you need to be really listening and paying attention to the other. So it's a great way of experiencing creation, like when you're not just alone with your responses, but you have a human being or several human beings which are issuing things, and you need to somehow complement, bend what they do, or break what they do, or blend what they do. Mm-hmm.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. In some cases it fails. It doesn't work. but it's part of the experience too.
Yeah, but if it doesn't work, there's something that happens, and that's part of the work. The I have returned several times to this scene. I saw once of this um, musical ensemble, a British. It's difficult to call them a band, called the AMM, a collective of musicians that used to work under the aegis of Cornelis Cardew. And I saw once just two of them performing, Eddie Prevost and John Tilbury, and they were obviously hating each other. They had had an argument over the years over politics, and the performance they managed to do was a show of incommunication and sort of fighting through the. So you can say that the piece worked in the sense that it wasn't harmonious, but it was very interesting to see a relationship between two people that might not connect well, and so that's also interesting when it doesn't work. With the sonnet, I remember people thinking, no, there's a line I won't cross. I won't put myself on stage and try to dance, and the reluctancy was interesting because many respected poets won't cross that line. Join the invitation to
the choreography. Yeah, but as you said, it was so fantastic to just the idea is fantastic, but to experience it when the poem really works, to see how a poem can make you dance. That's incredible, to move yourself. Well, it's a bit absurd because all music, but this is, and it respects the structure, the fundamental structure of a sonnet, and it is just a list of words. It is not a song, so it is different. But anyway, it was so incredible. You saw one version, so in Santiago, right?
I did, yes. It was fantastic. And though you didn't get people dancing really, because it was such a huge space, and I think it was quite formal, and so but
alcohol is fundamental.
But it certainly it was a terrific piece. And I showed it a film of it to my students. When I got back last October, we were studying sonnets, and showed them that, and so a wonderful extension of the the range of what a sonnet can be. So that was an interesting event too, that your performance there. I've forgotten the name of the venue. I mean, it's huge.
The GAM,
that's right. Yes.
Gabriela Mistral Cultural
That's
Center.
right. Yeah.
Big place.
Yeah.
That was the International Festival of Poetry.
Yes.
The event that invited us to that night. And I worked with a dance school of the university. I was doing a residence last year. So it was a way to get different schools of the same university working together. That was nice also.
yeah, it's great. I mean, but a lot of your work, I mean, it's I mean, I suppose it's by also crossing those sort of boundaries. I mean, if they're even there, but I mean, by moving in performance spaces and visual art spaces. I mean, you've worked with some incredible resources as well. You know, so you've been able to do some amazing things that perhaps the field of poetry doesn't offer so much. But
No,
yeah,
it doesn't.
yeah.
No, definitely not. And that's why, for example, we together with Federico, he's here, and Gonzalo was here before, are doing this festival of poetry and music, so we can give great technical conditions for the performance of poetry in a very free understanding of the term. So yes, to because that kind of space doesn't exist anywhere, really. So that was the motivation of for that project.
Right.
Hi, Martin.
Hey, Luna.
Hola Martín.
Hey.
Hi,
Saliste en varias fotos,
Again.
Luna. Saliste en
That was
varias
great.
fotos.
We've been here all the time, but actually our connection is so shit that if we
Don't
want to see you
worry.
properly, we have to have it off.
I know
But
you've
yeah.
been there
Just
always.
wanted to say lots of stuff.
Good.
Explorare. Explorare.
Explorare, ¿viste? You like that
Yeah.
one?
Carry on. Explorare.
Ah.
Out of pain. Yay.
They're the people that the writers forum in those time in the 2005. What Aiden or Adrian and Luna, you were our
2000.
you were our passer, yeah, you made the connection with the Chilean poetry trans Martin, Andres, and me. Yeah, with the connection. How are you, friends? Transgalactic. Chocogalactic.
Ah, buena, Aidan. That thing we did.
Hey.
Yeah, that is the bridge.
That's
that is the
a
real
translation
bridge.
as well.
That was a very nice project. Yeah, versions from here and there. Yeah, those are advantages. Good, excellent.
Martin,
Hey, Dan. Hey.
I still remember you with Luna with a sort of a blue scarf over your head doing a poem about a hen or a chicken or a cockerel or something.
I remember that, yeah. I was doing all the chicken noises. I was very good at that, the same as Gregorio's mom. I can do a proper chicken, look.
Beautiful.
That did go on that CD.
Yeah. Martin, do you remember when you were recording that CD, Mike Weller, do you remember his performance?
Oh, yeah.
So we were in this basement doing this CD. Martin and Luna and Adrian had set up to do this recording. And like getting a CD in those days was really rare. So like everyone turns up and a lot of writers forum was there. And Mike Weller, and this is something I think about every time I'm performing, he turns up and Mike used to do these performances with all sorts of objects and kids' toys and stuff like that. And so he starts doing the performance,
Yeah.
and it's going on for about 3-4 minutes, and this stuff is very funny. It's hard not to laugh. And I realized that the complete performance was silent. I hadn't noticed. And he was performing for the room, which was the thing that Bob Cobbin used to say, that, you know, you perform I can't remember exactly how he said it, but I mean, you take in the whole room. But Mike did the performance and was the only one. The recording was never going to catch any of the performance. It was for us in the room, and which was an amazing thing. I always remember that. That was a brilliant little recording. That, yeah. Thank you, Martin.
That was brilliant. That was a brilliant, recording. And
Yeah, I remember that
that
as well. That was lovely. And I remember, yeah, that was beautiful. And I remember I managed to draw little cat mustaches on everyone. We have to find those photos actually, because also Sean was there. You remember?
Yes, Sean was there.
Sean Bunny now is gone.
Yeah. Sean was very important those years.
And Lawrence is gone as well. So
Lawrence is gone as well.
Yeah.
Lawrence is gone as well. Yeah.
Martin Vaquero should hire a medium so we can make a session and connect with Lawrence and Sean and all of.
Yeah.
I think there should be 2 separate sessions. We can do Lawrence and Sean at
That
the
will
same
be increasingly be the case.
Yeah.
They will make two different frequencies, you know,
parallel
different moments at the same time.
Yeah, I think we have to have definitely separate channels.
Zoom in and zoom out.
Yeah, no, but that was good. It was also really good to pee on the thing of the Fire of London. How's it called? That?
Monument.
A monument. Do you remember?
Yeah,
After we got chased by the police, then we went and pee on Monument. While we read it, we were all pissing. It was much easier for them because they were all guys. But I also.
That was art, Luna.
Yeah, that was really.
The second was.
That was really hard to love.
Trying to go to visit William Blake to cross the bridge to go to the cemetery, and now we're right
in
to
the fence of the cemetery.
Yeah.
That's when the police came.
Yeah, with Sean Bonnet and all the stuff.
And Sean got us into trouble because he told the police that they didn't understand anything. They were just cops while we were police.
We can pass. We visited our friend William Blake. Yes, only a cop.
We
so,
came from Chile to visit William Blake.
Yeah. That was really lovely. That was really lovely. And we didn't manage to make it. And when the police came, it was that guy that we knew. You remember that Mexican guy? And he was quite big and he couldn't jump the fence and he was just on top of the fence. And then all the cops came. It was really weird.
Oh my God.
That was lovely anyway. All the time. We have to do it again, guys. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I wish I was.
Let's pee together in some money. We should pee on all the shit monuments that are still standing.
On the resurrection of William Blake. Let's go to make all of our energy, and we make a resurrection of William Blake for 1 week to the cemetery.
You know what, Martín Vaquero, you should share the link to a Horizon film.
Yeah, have to put it in the web.
Yeah, to share it.
Yeah. It's occult for so many years now. In the time it appears, Horizon.
No, but it's
Wow.
beautiful. It's beautiful. It's nice to.
Yeah,
Thank you,
fantastic.
Martin.
Yeah.
That was brilliant. Yay! And I want to say thank you to Elvira to keep this guy going as well, since she's in the group now.
He left.
Thank you,
She
Elvira.
left.
Olvida de eso.
Anyway, she might see the recording.
Oh,
She might see the
Aurelia,
recording, so you can see that we
Aurelia
thank her
is not there.
for
It's just a
keeping
Aurelia.
existing. Aurelia is there. Is right now.
Are we going to play or not? Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
We are ready for the rock.
Ready
Thank
for
you
pacing.
for all the rock batting, guys.
Thank you very much. And
Thank you for the
Increíble,
patience.
wow, fabuloso, lindo. Está muy conectado todo lo que estoy haciendo. Está wow. Que es una antología para siempre aquí.
Bueno.
Besitos. Y a todos los quiero mucho. Love you so much. Here every Wednesday in the transmission to the stratosphere. Oh, wow.
Every stratosphere. We're here every stratosphere.
Really a nice person. And it's music. Music everywhere.
Yeah. The whole unit of the universe is the food of it. The whole unit is the food. The unit of the feed.
Explorare. Explorar.
Explorare.
Explorar.
Explorare.
Explorar.
Explorare.
Plurales. Lineales.
Lineales.
Explorador. Orador. Dor.
Explorare. Explorare.
Doors.
Horsepower.
Explorar. Orar.
I just wanna. Oh.
X. Outside of pain. 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 Outside of pain, inside of nature. The south of nature. The south of the south. The south of the sand. The south of the rock, the south of the south, the sound of the south. The sea of the sound. This
The jeu of the jeu.
the son of the sound, the sound, the sound.
The share
The south of the sound.
sound of the sound.
Sound.
The click of the clock.
The sound of the rock. The rocking. The wrecking. The king. The guy. The sound of the sea. The sound of the land. The sound of your hands. The sound of the air. The sound of the fire. The sound of architecture. The sound of silence. The sound of The sound of the soul speak. This. The sound of the solar plexus. The sound of the synthesizer. The sound of time. The sound of light.
Beautiful. Thank you, Aidan. I saw it all.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Martin.
Thank you, Martini.
Thank you. Those over there, thank you too.
Thank you for the joy.
Everyone.
Joy.
Enjoy.
Yeah. And
Great. Thank you very much. Thank you very much to everyone.
Ciao, Martín.
Chao. Gracias. Gracias a todos. Se
Ciao,
pasaron.
Martin.
Gracias.
See you next Wednesday.
See you in the next
time.
planet.
Same planet.
Sí,
Same planet, no, another planet.
Ciao.